Brett Bielema and the positive momentum built with the Illini football team continues as they flip four-star Grant Beerman from Purdue to Illinois. Locked On Illini. Let's go.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to another breaking news, a rapid reaction edition of Locked On Illini. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I have a very good reason to do so. Before I get started, of course, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. If you're here for the first time, my name is Sunny Verma. You can find me at IlliniCast. You can find me at Locked On Illini on your favorite social medias. That includes X, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. Yes, we're even on Blue Sky now. Whatever you want, whatever social media you use, you can find us at. Send me a message. Let me know what you want to see on the show. It's my show, but technically it's also your guys' show. Again, today we're going to celebrate a little bit. Obviously, the Illini football team is coming off one of their more successful seasons that they've had in a very long time. And we're waiting for the moment that we kind of see a shift. We've seen the shift on the field, but we're still looking to see that momentum breakthrough off the field. And this could be a sign that that's exactly what's happening. The Illini basically announced that they've flipped four-star linebacker Grant Beerman from their arch rivals Purdue over to Champaign. And for that, as some of you might remember, I like to break down some of the film of some of the key prospects who do commit to the orange and blue. But myself, I'm not really a film guy. So for that reason, I bring on my good friend, Justin Adams. Justin, thank you so much for joining us today.
So how's it going, man?
It's going wonderful. Do whatever you need to do. It's no big deal. Right now, we want to talk a little Grant Beerman. He's comes from a position where he himself is a very solid prospect. Again, this is my opinion. But what's more important than that is that he's going to come in to help a linebackers room, which I think is one of the weakest in the Big Ten. It's a position that was one of our weakest all season long. I just don't know if the talent is necessarily there on a high level, on the ceiling wise. And so I think that for no other reason is why this Grant Beerman, flip is so important. But that's just me talking. You've looked over the film now. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Grant?
Yeah. So the first thing that I typically look for, especially in a linebacker is their size, right? Do they have the body type to add weight and strength for college football? He's sitting at 6'4", 220. However, he's a pretty big guy, but what I noticed is he's still very controlled. There's a lot of fluidity in his movement. He's very disciplined, keeps himself in a really great position, which is very, very important, especially in 3-5 style of defenses and stuff like that, because it's a risk reward. So you need to be. It's all about complementary football, and he does that very well. He identifies the play quickly. He's very good with his eye discipline. And he trusts his instincts. And I think that's the biggest thing here is the ability to trust your instincts to go make a play. There's no hesitation when he identifies that, the play is happening. He does a really good job in terms of just his overall control. Even though, he wants to play downhill, he does a really good job of not getting too shallow, not getting caught in the mud. Great field awareness. So that way he doesn't really get caught on blocks a lot and stuff like that. And like I said, he just keeps a good position. He understands when he has teammates there to help him, and he doesn't over pursue. And I think that's the one of the biggest things that we see a lot in, especially, missing tackles and just being out of position is you lose your eyes, you start playing players, and that really gets you lost and out of position. And that's when, play actions and little things like that can really take a toll. The RPOs, it happened a lot when Nebraska played Illinois. John Bullock, our outside linebacker, a lot of times in those situations, he would just be a little out of position, and that allowed, quick slants and stuff like that. It's just a slight misstep to one direction. You see a lot of consistency in his film, and it's just his ability, great tackler, ability to step up and make plays. And like I said, very, very versatile. And I think that's one of the most important things, especially as a linebacker in this day and age, because I feel like he can fit in a lot of different systems very well. And so that allows the coaching staff to be able to kind of just tinker and play around with his skill sets, develop, certain things. There's some things we look for in high school film that don't necessarily need to be there in college, because those are some things that are going to be worked for in college. But the main things are kind of those details, the size, the control, the fluidity, those instincts, that the stuff that really can't be taught or shouldn't need to be taught at that level when they're just working on certain aspects of, refining his play style. So he comes in with a well-rounded skill set that doesn't give too much of a, project look to him. I feel like he's somebody who can come make an impact early in his first couple seasons potentially. But yeah, I mean, really, really good stuff that I saw in his film, and excited to get into it. So
yeah, and contributing early is probably something we're going to be looking at Grant to do. But like you said, the joys of me bringing Justin on is that we don't necessarily just talk about it. We actually get to go look over some of the film that Justin is referencing, and we'll do that right after this. All right, Justin, linebacker Grant Beerman. Teach me, along with other Illini fans, a little bit more of what kind of prospect he is.
Absolutely. All right, so this first play here, what I want to kind of get into is just kind of this shows his, kind of ability to, not only play his spot, but play a little bit of complementary football as well. So what you're going to see initially out of the gates is he's going to slide to the left with this guy out of the backfield. And he's just going to cover his zone right here. This guy was communicating early on in the play. He looks like he's not in a position to make a play right now, because he was still communicating as the play was snapped. But he's 33 right here. And you're going to watch him here. He's going to slide to the left. And you see this route coming right here, right? This is going to be an attempt at a quick read. So watch him come over. He's going to slide over. Boom. He's going to knock him off. He's going to disrupt the timing of that route. Okay. Then he's going to check it down to this underneath route coming here. You see kind of some crossers, almost like a little bit of a mesh concept style. I can't see the rest of the play to know if it's a full mesh concept. Usually they'll have a triangle read here, but you see the crossers, and that's there to kind of, disrupt or try to get them crossed up a little bit. It works well against man. It works well against cover 2, cover 4. So mesh concepts are hard to cover. And so you're going to see right here, as soon as he recognizes this route coming on the underneath, and you'll see the gap here, but I want you to watch how quickly he recognizes this, gets downhill, because his eyes are very disciplined. So watch him get downhill and make this tackle quickly. And it's a great tackle. He goes straight for the hips to knock him off, his base. You want to attack the hips, attack the leverage, gets downhill, and a great tackle, right? And that there's no yards after the catch there. Again, he had about a 5-yard gap right there between him and the wide receiver, and still is able to recognize it and come down and make the play. So I'm going to get into a couple of the plays here. So I got a couple of some pass rush plays too. This one right here, this is a screen pass that's going to be set up. And this, I don't know if this is necessarily him watching it on film or just his ability to read the play quickly. Either way, it's a great thing. If you can recognize plays on film, then you're going to be doing yourself a good service, especially if you have natural instincts. So watch this play. I'm going to have him, I'm going to let it play until he kind of slides right here. Okay. So he immediately sees, right, he's going to see this blocking setting up. Okay. Now his eyes are in the right spot. You're going to see this running back come out for a little bit of a screen pass, but I want you to see how quickly he diagnoses this. So there's a screen pass. Look, he's already downhill, right? The ball hasn't left the quarterback's hands. He's getting downhill already. What that allows him to do is you see this blocker right here who's going to try to come lay a block on him. Well, he's already getting downhill, so that block doesn't have time to set up. Comes down, gets through the mud, right? This guy's going to try to block him right here. Takes a good inside positioning. Again, he doesn't allow himself to get blocked because he gets downhill quickly. Great awareness to know how to get through there and still be able to make a play instantly on the running back as soon as he catches the ball. Gets in there, again, a really good tackle. Breaks that play up, disrupts that play. And again, eyes in the right spot, play recognition, doesn't get downhill too quickly, but recognizes the play early enough to be able to get downhill quicker than the offensive players. So Very controlled there. Let's go ahead. I'll let this one run. I'm not going to break this one down. It's pretty self-explanatory, but this is just his intensity and motor here, getting through the middle of the line unblocked to get the safety. So again, no hesitation there. Doesn't question himself when he's, making a play. Let's go ahead and move to this play right here. And this one is going to give a little bit of his play recognition and anticipation again. So this is going to be his ability to kind of get to the opposite side of the play on the run while getting through the mud of the line. So the one thing that I want you to notice here is that he's going to, let me just let this run for a second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So right here, the timing, right? Steps up right when the ball snaps. And you'll notice it happens on another play too, where he keeps his feet moving, right? He doesn't stop his feet. Now, what he's going to do here is he's going to immediately split that gap. And what that allows this to do, and the way he shot that gap quickly, is now this lineman is in no position to block him, right? And he's blocking him high. To knock somebody off of their base, you want to try to block them at the hips and take their leverage away from them, because that's where your center of gravity is going to be. So he tries to push him high, and you're going to see this run goes out to this direction. So what you're going to see is just him, the anticipation and the ability to track the play down with speed. Here he gets outside, and you see right there, the running back's got the ball. It's almost like a little bit of a zone read. Again, eyes on the ball, doesn't take the fake there, is able to get on the running back, recognizes it quickly, gets to the outside and makes a play. All right, that's it. That's a very impressive play to me there, because that is his ability to just really kind of not only dissect, when he has multiple assignments, when he's pass rushing, he's going to be able to not only get after the quarterback, but he's also got his eyes in the right play to where he's going to be able to make a play if that ball goes elsewhere. So again, there's this controlled urgency, as I would like to call it, and this intensity in his play. And to me, that tenacity is just him trusting really his ability to make a play. He knows where he can be to make a play, and he always puts himself in a good position. So let's let this one run a little bit here. All right, you see him right there communicating. So you saw him shaking his head a little bit right there. So being communicated to him what's going on here. Let's let this roll a little bit. And you're going to see right here, this quarterback is initially going to try to enter this gap. You see 44 there. But this kind of shows his ability here to where he doesn't really get too shallow. And this is kind of what I was talking about, where he doesn't get shallow. Let me let this run a little bit. So you see him right here. This blocker is going to try to lay a block on him, but he's completely out of position chasing the play. But if he would have got too shallow here, right, he would have got caught up on these blockers right here. So what he does is he stays back. He understands that he has help to that side. You're going to see another defender coming from this direction and be able to kind of lay a little tackle on him. But he waits, and gets his hand in there, knocks that ball free. So, he understands when he has help, gets his ball in there, or gets his hand in there to strip the ball, cause the fumble. This guy is really confused at why there's a flag right there. I don't know why that cracks me up. This guy is like, oh, hey there. All right, so on this next play, one of the things that I do like to look for whenever I have the chance is down and distance on film as well, because you want to watch situational football. So down and distance here, you see it's fourth down. So they're going to be bringing heat, and you're going to see, again, when he comes up to the line here, again, he creeps down, but watch his feet. Feet moving, right? Plants that foot as soon as the ball is snapped. One of the things that I want you to watch here that he does is, you see how he gets into the back of his lineman here? So he gets into the back of his lineman almost to kind of shield him. And then what he's going to do is he's going to find an opening. As soon as he sees that opening, he's going to get through. So here he goes. You're going to see him get through. What he does when he attacks downhill like this, again, is you really take the lineman or whoever's trying to block you. In this case, it looks like a fullback or an H-back who's going to be trying to lay the block on him. But you see right now, with what he did there to be able to sneak behind that lineman and come around, this guy's on the outside now. He's going to want to block him this direction, but he's getting to the inside shoulder. You see how he kind of gets skinny right there. But notice this guy is on his heels right here, okay? And you're going to notice that with the guy who tries to step up and makes a block next is gets through right here. And I want you to watch right here. like this guy is in no position to make the play. He is unable to get his punch out to block this guy, to get his arms extended. So he's taken all the brunt of this. Now he's facing a double here with two bigger guys. So this is just motor. This is just drive right here. But also the ability to recognize when the quarterback's going to step up and roll out. He gets a little help from his teammate right here. And watch him drive these two backwards and then slide through. And again, his hands are in no position to really be able to block him because he got to his inside shoulder. Now the quarterback's kind of tripping, trying to roll right, and he gets in there and he helps and makes the play. So another really good job in showing his versatility, his pass rush ability. The first one he was untouched, but this one you kind of see the ability to really, and it's very important how you pass rush against linemen, those bigger guys, because you're going to have to rely a lot on your speed. You're going to have to rely a lot on your explosiveness to be able to beat those offensive linemen, because especially in college ranks, they're going to be a lot bigger and stronger than you. So this next play right here, this is going to be my last play here. And this is probably my favorite play, to see a linebacker be able to make this play on a running back especially. So you have the motion coming across right here with this running back, and you have him right here. He's going to slide laterally, slide. Okay, so again, he's moving laterally, so that way he's not really turning his back to the play just in case that something else happens here. So he's manned up on this running back though. And so what you're going to see is he doesn't play too fast, doesn't get down to hill too early. Again, I'm saying that a lot because that's important. Keeping your depth enough to where you can still be in a position to make the play. And that comes from trusting the guys around you, right? You trust the guys down here that they're going to be able to stick to their assignments, and you focus on your job. And when you can focus on your job, things become a lot easier. So let me let this roll a little bit. So you're going to see what they're trying to almost disguise as a screen. You're going to see him really have the good awareness to kind of get through to this, but at the same time, he doesn't over pursue. And this is where that really shows, right? Moves laterally. And now this running back right here is going to take this upfield into almost a wheel route, right? And there he goes with the wheel. Now you see him immediately recognize that. And he wasn't even really taking a good angle to that, but still he's able to get where he needs to be and gets real sticky with the coverage. You'll see he extends his arm just so he knows he's in a good position. And when he knows he's in a good position and he's not beat, he speeds there with the running back. He's going to get his head around quickly, identifies the ball, quarterback, ball's out of the quarterback hand. The ball is up in the air already, and identifies that, gets his head back around and watch the timing to disrupt this. Boom. And he forces the running back to the sideline. That's another thing too. Both players have just as much a right to that sideline as each other. So don't be afraid as a defender to kind of force them off that spot. So that way there's one place that this quarterback can put the ball. And that's right here on this sideline. So he knows that he can get his arms up and make a play here. Again, gets his head back around. So good job getting his head around initially. So that way, there's no interference, and just sticks his arm up and is able to make a play. So I want to run that one more time just so you can see it. I'm going to run it full speed for you. Play recognition, gets up, gets sticky with the coverage, head around, gets his hands up and makes the play. So right there in just the first, 6 plays of his film, you saw his ability to recognize the run, pass rush, not only just getting, to the quarterback quickly, but also having to dissect through the line, be able to have the ability to understand where he needs to be to beat these linemen. And it's really hard for these linemen, when you have a guy who's playing downhill that quickly, to be able to get their feet in the right position, especially because a linebacker is going to be a lot quicker than them. And so if you can beat them to the spot, if you can beat them because you understand that you're coming downhill, he keeps his feet moving. That's the most important thing to me. But there's a little bit of a hesitation to where he makes a smart play. Again, that was really, really good for him to get behind that lineman. That's a great idea, because if he slides to that left too early, now that backer that came up to block him, he's able to then step up and block him from a good position, which is going to slow him down. And that little bit of a half second would have allowed that quarterback to potentially roll out to the right in that pocket. And there wasn't a lot of help out there. So if he rolls right in that pocket and is able to kind of, keep his eyes downfield and make a pass or make a run, that's fourth down. Again, situational football. He knows he needs to get there quickly, gets to a spot, understands he has help, and is able to come over and make the play. So yeah, that's kind of what I got for you. And just because it's pretty simple, it shows everything you need to know right there. And again, everything I talked about before, these are the things that you build from with a college level linebacker. Because the intangibles are what you look for in high school film. Not everything has to be refined in high school. That's where coaching comes in college ball. That's where development comes in college ball. That's why people don't usually come in as freshmen ready to play. However, as a Husker fan, I'm just going to give you a example. Vincent Shavers, who is a true freshman. One of the things that he does is he got a lot of starts and snaps this year and has continued to get more and more snaps as the season goes along, because while he is raw in a lot of areas, he plays fast, and that allows him to sometimes even accidentally make a play. You know, there are times where he may play a little too fast, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially just your true freshman year, because you're going to kind of learn those things. But those are the type of players that play with that intensity that are going to be able to make plays. And like I said, sometimes they're going to accidentally make plays just because they're playing fast, they're playing hard, they're going to be out of position a couple times. But for the most part, it's consistency, and you see a lot of consistency. As long as you get up and you make plays more consistently than not, you're going to be able to get playing time. And, you know, if you have a coach that is typically okay with playing young players, that's where I think this guy can immediately step up and make an impact. You know, he's got pretty good size. They probably want to put a little bit more strength on him, a little bit more size on him, but you don't want to put too much size so you remove his fluidity and his movement ability. But this is a guy who can play, you know, multiple positions. You know, you could probably play him outside, inside, you know, off the edge, in coverage. So do it all type of guy. And that's exactly what you want from the linebacker, especially in modern college football, because the spread offenses make things so much more difficult in terms of speed. And that's why some of these teams are going to 3-3-5 defenses, 4-2-5 defenses, because what that allows to do is it allows you to bring in an extra linebacker or defensive back to be able to kind of keep up with the speed of the current offenses. So even more so in today's age, these linebackers have to be versatile. It's a non-negotiable. They have to be versatile. They have to be able to recognize these things. Good eye discipline. Gone are the days of the huge linebackers that are just there to bully people. So I like what I see. A lot of good things from him. And as typical with some of these film reviews, there was another one that I did with you before. You know, I start to get envious of some of these guys because I would like to see them in red. So well,
you got plenty of 4 stars. You know,
yeah.
Illinois can use, you know, Grant's a good start, but hopefully we'll have a couple more in the future. Justin, you're amazing at what you do. It's an absolute honor that you come on here and go over the film of some of these guys. Can you let my viewers know where they can find your work?
Absolutely. So you can find me over at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. I do film reviews over there and stuff like that. Even did some film breakdowns of when we played Illinois, and recruiting film as well. Probably not going to find a lot of Illinois recruits over there, but coming up soon on the Voice of College Football, I will be the film guy for a recruiting channel we got coming up. So stay tuned for that as well. And you can find me on X at _H-Town Husker as well. So follow me over there. And yeah, if you want to check it out, just go give me a follow.
Justin, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to wrap it up for this quick rapid reaction edition of Locked On Illini. If you enjoy this film work, let me know in the comment section. If there's a particular prospect you want me to go over, I can always bug Justin and have him come back on Locked On Illini. Again, this is your show. I want to know what kind of content you guys want to see, and I myself will try to provide it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button. It's still my goal to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the calendar year. I can do that only with your guys' support. Cost you guys absolutely nothing. Please share this with your Illini friends or former roommates or whatever it might be. And also, we have a Discord where we've been going back and forth, having conversations all day long. So if that's something you're interested in, please find the link in the description. Yeah, I'll be back soon with more Illini content. Until then, ILL. Love you guys.